Imagine coming home from a 12-hour shift, exhausted and ready to collapse on your own couch, only to find your lazy sister eating your food, wearing your clothes, and acting like she owns the place. Now imagine discovering that your own mother gave her the keys without asking you, without even telling you. That's exactly what happened to Emma, and what she did next will leave you speechless. Emma had worked her tail off for 3 years to afford her own apartment, while her younger sister Jessica spent her 20s partying and bouncing from job to job. Emma was pulling double shifts as a nurse, saving every penny, building her credit score. Finally, at 26, she had something that was truly hers, a small but beautiful one-bedroom apartment in the city. Her mother, Carol, had been so proud when Emma got the keys. She'd helped her move in, admired the cozy space, and even insisted on keeping a spare key for emergencies. Emma thought nothing of it. After all, what could go wrong with trusting your own mother? For 6 months, Emma's apartment was her sanctuary. After dealing with difficult patients and endless hospital drama, she'd come home to her peaceful space, cook dinner in her tiny kitchen, and finally breathe. It was the first time in her adult life that she felt truly independent. But that peace was about to be shattered in the most unbelievable way possible. Emma had picked up an extra shift that Thursday, covering for a sick colleague. She'd texted her mom about working late, mentioning she wouldn't be home until almost midnight. It was just a casual message, the kind you send without thinking twice. What Emma didn't know was that her mother saw this as the perfect opportunity. You see, Jessica had been temporarily staying with Carol for 8 months after losing another job and getting evicted from her shared apartment. And Carol was getting tired of her youngest daughter's mess, attitude, and complete lack of responsibility. So, Carol made a decision that would destroy her relationship with Emma forever. She drove to Emma's apartment, used that emergency key, and moved Jessica in while Emma was saving lives at the hospital. Picture Emma's face as she unlocked her apartment door at 11:47 p.m., dead tired from a brutal shift. The first thing she noticed was the smell, cheap takeout food and Jessica's overpowering perfume. Then she heard it, laughter coming from her living room. Her living room. Emma walked into her own apartment to find Jessica sprawled across her couch wearing Emma's favorite sweater, surrounded by empty pizza boxes and shopping bags. The coffee table Emma had saved months to buy was covered in Jessica's makeup and nail polish. Her sister looked up with that familiar smirk and said, "Oh, hey, roomie. Mom said I could crash here for a while." "What do you mean, crash here?" Emma's voice was barely a whisper. She was too shocked to be angry yet. "Jessica, you need to leave, now. This is my apartment." "Actually," Jessica pulled out a crumpled piece of paper, "Mom wrote me this note saying I could stay as long as I needed, so technically I have permission from a key holder." That's when Emma noticed the rest of the damage. Jessica's clothes were hanging in Emma's closet. Her toiletries were scattered across the bathroom counter. She'd even moved Emma's carefully organized books to make room for her own junk on the shelves. Emma called her mother immediately, her voice breaking. "Mom, what did you do?" Carol's response was worse than Emma could have imagined. "Mom, honey, Jessica really needs help right now. She has nowhere else to go. You have such a nice place, and you're never home anyway because of work. I thought you'd understand. Family helps family. This is my apartment. You can't just move someone in without asking me." "Don't be selfish, Emma. Jessica is your sister. Besides, I'm sure you two can work out some kind of arrangement. Maybe Jessica can help with rent." Emma looked at her sister, who was now painting her nails on Emma's white couch. "Jessica, are you planning to pay rent?" Jessica laughed. "With what money? I'm between jobs right now, but I can, like, help with cleaning or whatever." The apartment was already a disaster zone after just one day of Jessica's presence. That night, Emma barely slept on her own couch because Jessica had claimed the bedroom. As she stared at the ceiling, listening to her sister's loud phone conversations with friends about her awesome new place, Emma realized something that changed everything. This wasn't just about the apartment, it was a lifetime of being taken advantage of by her own family. As the days passed, Emma started to see the bigger picture. This wasn't the first time her mother had prioritized Jessica's comfort over Emma's well-being. It was just the most obvious example. Growing up, Emma was always the responsible one. When Jessica got in trouble at school, Emma was expected to tutor Jessica. When Jessica crashed Mom's car, Emma was asked to lend her savings for repairs. When Jessica needed money for college applications, Emma worked extra hours at her part-time job to help pay for them. And now, after years of sacrifice and hard work, Emma's reward was having her personal space invaded and her boundaries completely ignored. But Jessica's behavior in the apartment was getting worse by the day. She'd invite friends over without asking, leaving Emma to clean up their mess. She'd eat Emma's carefully meal-prepped food, forcing Emma to spend money on takeout after her long shifts. She'd use Emma's expensive skincare products and borrow her work clothes without permission. The breaking point came when Emma discovered Jessica had been telling people she was the primary tenant. She'd even given Emma's address to a guy she was dating, telling him it was her place. When Emma confronted her, Jessica rolled her eyes and said, "God, Emma, why are you being so weird about everything? It's just an apartment." Just an apartment. Those words hit Emma like a slap. This wasn't just an apartment. It was 3 years of 12-hour shifts. It was saying no to dinners out and vacations with friends. It was proof that she could take care of herself, and her own family was treating it like it meant nothing. That's when Emma decided enough was enough. But her revenge wouldn't be loud or dramatic. It would be quiet, methodical, and absolutely devastating. Emma started documenting everything. She took photos of the damage to her furniture. She recorded Jessica's friends being loud late at night. She saved the receipts for all the food Jessica had eaten and products she'd used. She even recorded Jessica bragging on the phone about finally having my own place without paying rent. But Emma's masterstroke was something Jessica never saw coming. Remember how Jessica had claimed to be the primary tenant? Well, Emma decided to give her exactly what she'd asked for. Emma's plan was brilliant in its simplicity. If Jessica wanted to be the primary tenant so badly, then she could handle all the responsibilities that came with it. First, Emma went to her landlord and explained the situation. She showed him her lease agreement, proving she was the only authorized tenant. The landlord was furious. Unauthorized occupants were a serious violation of the lease terms. He agreed to give Jessica exactly 48 hours to vacate the premises. But Emma wasn't done. She'd calculated every penny Jessica had cost her. The food, the utilities spike from constant air conditioning and TV usage, the damage to her furniture, even the extra cleaning supplies she'd had to buy. The total was $847. Emma presented Jessica with an itemized bill and the eviction notice simultaneously. "What is this?" Jessica stared at the papers in disbelief. "Well, since you've been telling everyone this is your place, I figured you should start acting like it," Emma said calmly. "That's what you owe me for the past 3 weeks, and that's your notice to leave." "You can't evict me. Mom said I could stay." "Mom doesn't pay the rent. Mom doesn't live here, and Mom definitely doesn't have the right to sublet my apartment without my permission." Emma's voice was steady, but her eyes were ice cold. "You have 48 hours." Jessica immediately called Carol, screaming into the phone. Within an hour, Carol was at the apartment demanding that Emma be reasonable. Reasonable? Emma laughed, but there was no humor in it. Was it reasonable when you moved someone into my apartment without asking? Was it reasonable when Jessica destroyed my furniture and ate my food without offering to pay for anything? Was it reasonable when you taught her that my hard work and boundaries don't matter? Carol tried every manipulation tactic in the book. She accused Emma of being selfish, of abandoning family, of being ungrateful for everything she'd done as a mother. But Emma had prepared for this, too. "Mom, I've been the responsible one my entire life. I've sacrificed for this family over and over again. But this crosses a line. You violated my trust, my space, and my security, and you taught Jessica that she can take whatever she wants from me without consequences."